Some cities are large. Tokyo is something else entirely, a vast tide of humanity that spills past every boundary you try to draw around it. It is a place where ancient shrines sit in the shadow of glass towers, where trains run to the second, and where more people gather than in many entire nations. Today we are going to make sense of this astonishing city, layer by layer. Start with the number that shapes everything else here, because the scale of Tokyo is difficult to believe until you see it written down. Consider how many people call this single region home. Its wider urban area stands among the most populous on the entire planet, a human sprawl so large it functions less like a city and more like a country folded into one. Every day it moves, feeds, and houses a multitude, and somehow it does so with a smoothness that astonishes visitors. That immense population is the engine behind everything Tokyo is. Its energy, its endless variety, its restless invention. Hold that scale in mind, because the whole story flows from it. Tokyo was not always the name or the giant it is now. For centuries it was Edo, a castle town that grew around the seat of the country's military rulers into one of the largest cities in the world long before most people in the West had heard of it. When the emperor moved his seat here, it was renamed and remade as the modern capital. That deep past still shapes the streets, and knowing where the city began explains much about how it grew into what you see today. Tokyo covers a remarkable expanse, far more than any single skyline can suggest. Beyond the famous districts stretch ring after ring of neighborhoods, suburbs, and satellite towns, stitched together over generations of growth until the city seems to have no edge at all. This is why Tokyo can feel both impossibly dense and, in its quiet residential lanes, almost village-like. Its sheer size lets it hold worlds within worlds, glittering centers and sleepy corners, all under one endless name. The map of Tokyo is much larger than its postcards. Tokyo is the capital of Japan, and it carries that role with extraordinary weight. From here flow the decisions, the finance, and much of the culture that shape one of the world's most influential nations. The imperial household, the government, and the headquarters of great companies all cluster in this single region. Understanding the country it anchors helps explain why this one city looms so large in technology, business, and the imagination far beyond its own shores. When the world pictures modern Japan, it very often pictures Tokyo. Tokyo carries a hidden resilience beneath its modern gleam. Within a single century it was devastated twice, first by a catastrophic earthquake and fire, then by the destruction of war, each time losing vast swaths of the city, and each time it rebuilt, faster and larger than before. The metropolis you see today is in large part a phoenix, raised from ruin by sheer collective determination. That history of rising again is stitched into the city's character, a quiet confidence that whatever comes, Tokyo will rebuild and carry on. If one thing makes Tokyo possible, it is the train. An intricate web of rail lines threads through and beneath the entire region, carrying millions of people with a punctuality that astonishes newcomers. Life here is organized around stations, and whole districts grow up around them. Without this vast, almost living circulatory system, a city of Tokyo's size simply could not function. The quiet miracle of Tokyo is not its towers or its lights, but the fact that so many people move through it every day so smoothly, on time, again and again. When the sun sets, Tokyo does not dim. It glows. Whole districts blaze with neon and screens, and narrow lanes fill with the warmth of tiny bars and restaurants tucked one beside another. The nightlife is not a single scene but countless small worlds, from quiet counters serving a handful of guests to streets pulsing with light and sound. This after-dark energy is part of what gives the city its legend. In Tokyo, the day never quite ends. It simply changes character as one crowd heads home and another comes alive. What makes Tokyo unforgettable is how effortlessly it holds opposites together. Turn a corner from a street of futuristic towers, and you may find a centuries-old shrine, wrapped in quiet and incense, entirely unbothered by the glass giants around it. The city does not treat its past as a museum to be roped off. It lets tradition and technology live side by side as neighbors. That constant conversation between old and new is the true texture of Tokyo, and it is something few other cities manage with such natural grace. Perhaps the most surprising thing about Tokyo is not its size but its calm. In a city this crowded, you might expect chaos, yet the streets are famously clean, the crowds famously orderly, and the whole vast machine runs with a quiet politeness that visitors remember for years. This is not an accident but a shared understanding, a sense that in such closeness, small courtesies matter enormously. It is a living demonstration that density and dignity can go together, that millions can share a space and still make room for one another. Tokyo is a powerhouse of culture in every direction at once. It is a legendary food city, from humble noodle counters to some of the most celebrated kitchens in the world. It is a fountain of pop culture, style and design whose influence ripples across the globe. And it is a hive of technology and invention, forever producing the next gadget, trend, or idea. To spend time here is to feel plugged into a place that helps set the tastes and tools of the wider world, often before that world even notices. Tokyo lives with a reality most great cities never face. The ground beneath it can move. It sits in one of the most seismically active regions on Earth, and that danger has shaped how it builds. Its towers are engineered to sway and survive, its people drilled in what to do, its systems designed to bend rather than break. There is something quietly heroic in a metropolis this large choosing to thrive in such a place, meeting the planet's raw power not with fear, but with careful, stubborn ingenuity. So this is Tokyo, a former castle town grown into the largest urban region on Earth, rebuilt twice from ruin, run on rails, and forever balancing ancient shrines against glowing towers. It is vast beyond easy counting, orderly beyond belief, and endlessly inventive. The facts here come from public records, but the feeling of standing in that immense, humming city is something numbers can only hint at. Learn its shape, and every future glimpse of Tokyo in a film or a headline carries a little more meaning. Every number here comes from Wikipedia and Wikidata, all public and open. If you learned something new, subscribe to the Knowledge Atlas for more.